Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Let's see, are we going to start with courtroom 2 today?
Yes, Judge. Do we have the interpreter case?
Say it again.
Do we have the interpreter with us available?
I don't see the interpreter on the line.
Your Honor, whenever you're ready, you got position number 20, Mr. Darius Smith.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah, I agree.
Put your mask on.
Let's see, Mr. Smith, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004094G with criminal trespass. Is there a history?
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
PCIC indicates 14 cycles with history in Georgia and Ohio. Last arrest, May of 2018, for possession of methamphetamine in Newton, North Carolina. No disposition listed in that arrest. It appears to be an open case. Record does reflect the defendant has a hold in Columbus, Ohio for endangering children. Warrant date is April of this year. Case number is PRC 786104. Also, 2 convictions out of the state of Ohio, 2020 misdemeanor criminal damage to property, and a 2016 felony unlawful transportation of firearms, 1 violation of probation within the past 10 years. Nothing further to add.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Duncan. Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, this is my case. Good afternoon. This incident took place at the Greyhound station located at 2324 Forsyth Street. In this incident, Your Honor, it took place yesterday where there was an officer conducting a directed patrol in the area. He was contacted by the security at the Greyhound station and was told that they had a disorderly patron that they wanted removed from the property. When the officers arrived on scene, they witnessed the defendant in this case being loud and irate, and he was told to leave the property. While attempting to get him to leave the property, he stated several times that he would blow the security guard up and just kept being loud and irate and things of that nature. Once they finally did get him to leave the property, the officer, since he was patrolling the area, he was able to see the defendant from his location because he had gone across the street. And about 30 minutes after he was removed from that Greyhound station, he was observed going back to that location after about 30 minutes. In this case, Your Honor, the state has a particular concern about this defendant's ties to the community. We're concerned that they're insufficient. In this case, most of his history comes out of Ohio. On his history, there is a fugitive from justice arrest for Ohio Department of Rehab. Given that and that he's wanted out of Columbus, we concerned also that there is a flight risk in this case. Given that, we're going to request a $2,000 surety, a stay away from that location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no further violations of Georgia law.
The Forsyth Street location, is that a business or is it?
That's the Greyhound. That's the Greyhound bus station.
Okay. Thank you. Afternoon, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. We would like to request for a signature on bond for this criminal trespass case, so that way he can take care of or he can be transported to Ohio, where he has a warrant, outstanding warrant out there. He has been here in Georgia for 2 days. The day that he was arrested was the first day he has ever been in Georgia. He does not have any family members, no job here. His education is up to 10th grade. And right now in Georgia, he does not have any house or any other place to go. So the best thing to do is for him to go back to Ohio to take care of his matter. Thank you.
All right, it's going to be $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the Greyhound bus station at 2324 Forsyth Street. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Smith.
Next, we have
What'd he say?
position 5, Mr. Hayes. You have $1,000 bill for
So good bond, it's like, I don't got paid.
pay 10%. Come on, Mr. Hayes.
And I've been informed that we do not have an interpreter scheduled for today. So I'm not sure which case we needed the interpreter for, but
It's gonna be it's position 16, Mr. Rio.
who represents?
Good morning, Your Honor. How
Hey,
are
Mr.
you?
Bartels. Good, I'm well, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, I have position 15 and 16. They have both requested an interpreter. And they would both need a Spanish interpreter. Let's see, number 12, also, we had requested a Russian interpreter. If one is available, I think that would be helpful. But we also may be able to proceed without an interpreter on 12. Just for the court's
Well,
reference.
it's my understanding that we don't have any interpreters available today. So as far as position 12, if you want to proceed on that one without an interpreter, it's fine. What would you like to do with position 15 and 16?
Well, let's see. Do they have bonds set?
I think they're both family violence, so I would imagine that they have to come before me to get a bond.
Right. Yeah, well, as much as I would like to address that today, Your Honor, since they've requested an interpreter, I guess it would just have to be reset.
Okay, well, we can reset it for tomorrow, same time. And is Mr. Jordan on with us today?
It's Miss Champion.
Good afternoon, Ms. Champion. Can we make sure that we have an interpreter available for tomorrow?
Yes, sir. I go ahead and have Mr. Jordan put in the request.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Bartels. Who do we have in courtroom 2 now? If you're responding, you're on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge. Yes,
It's all right.
position 5, Mr. Hayes.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Hayes. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is a state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004112B with battery substantial physical harm. Is there a history?
Your Honor, GCIC indicates 3 cycles. Last arrest, June of 2013, for possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and furnishing, purchase, or possession of alcoholic beverage for persons below the legal age. He was convicted on the furnishing alcohol misdemeanor conviction, 2 misdemeanor conviction in 2011 and 12 for theft by shoplifting. GCIC also indicates a hold in Milton, Georgia. Nothing further, Judge.
Okay. Is he recommended?
I will take him, Judge, regardless of he does have that hold.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Segura.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This case occurred on August the 17th, 2021, in which case a defendant got into a physical altercation with a Mr. John Carroll, Carroll spelled Carroll, in which left Mr. Carroll with abrasions near the left side of his nose, right and left elbows, front of physical altercation, which was on the parking lot at 5306 Windward Parkway, Alpharetta. Because of this, the state is recommending a $5,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, a stay away from the incident location, which was at 5306 Windward Parkway, Alpharetta, and no further contact with Mr. John Carroll. We are concerned by Mr. Carroll's safety, as we were unable to make contact with him. So this morning, so on the safe side, we want to make sure that there's some safety for him by having the no further contact and potentially the surety bond. Alongside, we have, based on the warrants, it wasn't really in depth, so we have no real idea as to what led to this altercation. So just for the potential danger to Mr. Carroll, we're asking for a surety bond. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Zuger. I didn't understand what Mr. Hayes allegedly did to Mr. Carroll.
Oh, he struck him on the left side of his face with a closed fist, which left abrasions on the left side of his nose. And when he was fighting on the parking lot, that resulted with Mr. Carroll on the ground, he also left abrasions on the right and left elbows of Mr. Carroll.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Gant.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Thank you. Mr. Roshan Hayes is 28 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area over 10 years. He has family here. We are unopposed to the stay away at the incident location. Mr. Hayes completed high school. He is currently a sophomore. His major is computer science and business administration. He is employed part-time at Bar Taco, and he will be starting a new job. He is anxious to get released so that he can report to that new job. Your Honor, Mr. Hayes denies the allegations. He states that he, in fact, was attacked by Mr. Carroll, the complaining witness. He also states that he does not know this person. Therefore, we are unopposed to any no contact orders. Mr. Hayes is recommended. He does not have any convictions for violence. His last contact with law enforcement, it appears, was 2013, Your Honor. Therefore, I'm requesting a signature bond on his behalf. And again, we are unopposed to the stay away and the no contact orders. Thank you.
Okay, it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial, one-day anger awareness class, no further contact with Mr. Carroll, stay away from the Glen Ridge Parkway address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Hayes, I'm going to let you out, but you're going to have to make sure that you come back for your next scheduled court hearing. If you don't, they're going to put a warrant out for you, okay?
Understood.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, can you repeat the conditions, please?
One-day anger awareness, stay away from the Glen Ridge Parkway address, no further contact with Mr. Carroll, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What was the address, Mr. Segura? I've got Glen Ridge Parkway.
5306 Windward Parkway.
Oh, okay, Wynwood Parkway. Thank you. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Hayes.
Okay, you're done. Position 9, Mr. McLean.
And this is Mr. McLean, is that right?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Thank you.
That's
Good afternoon, Mr. McLean. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Is that a yes, Mr. McLean?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004106D with fare evasion, criminal trespass, and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history? Ms. Harrison?
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but due to some issues in this case, I was wondering if we could have a breakout room with the court and the state and Mr. McLean.
Yeah, that's fine, Mr. Bartels. You want courtroom 2 in the breakout room also?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. So if Ms. Champion, if you'll put us into a breakout room, please.
And Your Honor, if you can please put Deputy Solicitor General Rhodes in there with you as well.
Okay.
And this is my case as well. He also put me into the breakout room.
Okay, the bond for Mr. McLean is gonna be a $500 good bond on each charge. Abide by any active order suspensions and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. He's also going to go to the mental health court on Thursday. All right, good luck to you, Mr. McLean. Who do we have next? You're on mute, courtroom two.
Sorry about that. Position 17, Sadler.
Okay. And a breakout room has been requested for Mr. Sadler also.
That's correct, Your Honor. I think it would be best if I and the court and the state could confer without the courtroom in the break.
Okay, and if we can also have Ms. Harrison in the breakout room for the history, please.
Okay.
And my supervisor, ASG Rhodes, please,
Okay.
and myself, sorry.
Good afternoon, Ms. Tortorella.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Tortorella. Hey, Mr. Rhodes.
Okay, Mr. Sadler, we've had a discussion with your counsel and the state. It's going to be $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the Georgia Capitol. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and you will be seeing at the competency calendar on July 7th.
July 7th.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good luck to you, Mr. Sadler.
Good luck, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sadler.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 1, Mr. Camacho. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Camacho. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0040891, was driving under the influence of alcohol, under the age of 21, possession of an open alcohol container, and improper erratic lane change. Is there a history?
Your Honor, GCIC indicates no prior history. He does meet the criteria for your juvenile trial.
Mrs. Segura?
This case occurred on June 25th, 2022 at the instant location of Holcomb Bridge Road and the Old Alabama Road, Roswell. In this case, officers were patrolling the instant location in which one officer saw the defendant walking while hunched over and stumbling towards his vehicle. At that point, officers observed the defendant entering his vehicle and then leaving. And once officers were suspicious, decided to follow the defendant, in which they saw that the defendant failed to maintain lanes, change lanes, and once even changed lanes in front of another vehicle, which was unsafe to do. At that point, officers turned on the safety lights, and the defendant stopped. When the officer went up to see the defendant, they noticed his eyes were red and his breath was emanating alcohol. When asked, he said he consumed 3 alcoholic beverages before. And at that point, an officer also observed an open bottle on a passenger floorboard, which was partially empty, in which the defendant himself also said, which was down. And the defendant also agreed to sobriety, a field sobriety, in which the officer observed several signs of intoxication, such as him unable to stand on one leg, swaying, and unable to keep balance. Alongside, also took an alcohol sensor, which had a BAC of 0.095. Because of this, the state is recommending a surety bond of $3,500, $2,000 for the DUI under 20, $1,000 for the open container, and $500 for the lane change. We're also asking for the condition of no alcohol, drugs, and weapons while out on bond. Making these recommendations based on these facts, as well as concerned that this is DUI and the defendant was driving on a busy roadway in which it could have caused damage to another vehicle and to himself. We're also concerned since the defendant himself is also 20. So we also just concerned that for safety for himself, that because of this, thus there's a reason for a surety bond. Thank you.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Ruben Camacho is 20 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He has family here. Your Honor, he is a high school graduate and he is currently enrolled or will be enrolling in Lanier Tech in August to study business marketing. He is gainfully employed at Taco Macho. He has been with that employer for 1 year. Your Honor, we are denying the allegations today. My client is recommended for a signature bond. If Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000 for the DUI and $500 for the remaining charges, for a total bond of $2,000. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so for the DUI, it's going to be $1,000 good bond. For the open alcohol container, a $500 good bond. For the erratic lane change, a $250 good bond, making for a total of a $1,750 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Camacho.
Next, we have position 3, Vicky. Yeah.
There's no signature line on this one. Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Dickey. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Dickey, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004093J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
Your Honor, 9 cycles. Last arrest, May of 2021 for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and possession of firearm during the commission of a felony in Fulton County. That is an open case 20 CP 196267. Additional open case for theft by receiving stolen property, criminal trespass, damage to property, obstruction of law enforcement officers, reckless driving, and driving without a license. Case number 21 SC 178960. Record indicates 2 failure to appear, 1 violation of probation, and a 2017 misdemeanor conviction for theft by shoplifting. Nothing further to add.
Mrs. Segura?
There's a kid on June 24th, 2022 at the instant location of 3280 Drexel Lane at East Point, apartment 14. In this case, there was a physical altercation at the instant location between the defendant and the victim, Mr. Quantavious Young Coachman. Quantavious spelled Quantavious, Young Coachman, common spelling, was the boyfriend of the defendant, in which they both reside at the instant location. At that point, the police arrived. They noticed when they talked with both the defendant and Mr. Young Coachman. They seemed to be set up a physical altercation in which Mr. Young Coachman had scratch marks and bruises to his face, to his neck, and also his chest area. Based on the conversation with the officer, the two were arguing all day about the relationship. At that point, the defendant wanted Mr. Young to leave the residence, in which Mr. Young refused. At that point, there seemed to be conflicting stories as to what happened, in which Mr. Young seemed to be kind of denying it. At that point, the defendant admitted to actually pushing Mr. Young Coachman. So because of this, we're asking for a $5,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, a stay away from the 3280 Drexel Lane, East Point address. If Mr. Young resides there, if he doesn't, we're okay with the defendant returning to that location, and no further contact with Mr. Quantavious Young Coachman. Based on these facts, as well as we are concerned about Mr. Young's safety, as we were not able to make contact with him earlier today, but at the same time, we noticed that something did occur during the time in which Mr. Young did have visible injuries, which was visible to the officer. Alongside, we also have concerns about the defendant being a flight risk, as he does have an open FTA warrant, which originates in 2021. Alongside, he has an FTA in 2018, and he has his open cases, which was noted by pre-trial. Thank you.
Scant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before I begin my argument, I did recheck Odyssey regarding the aggravated assault. This is in Fulton County. I did not find an open aggravated assault case for Mr. Dickey. Birthday June 8, 1999.
One moment, please.
Do you want to proceed with your argument while she verifies that, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Dickey is 23 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 8 years. I am advised that he and his fiance, the complaining witness, Mr. Quantavious Young Coachman, have been together for 3 years. Your Honor, Mr. Dickey completed high school. He is currently a student at Georgia State University. He's studying business administration and marketing. His GPA is 3.6. He is also gainfully employed at Quick App full-time. Your Honor, he denies the allegations, and he informs me that he was actually pushed by Mr. Coachman. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Dickey's behalf, and if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, I would ask for a surety bond of no more than $1,000. We are opposed to the no contact and stay away orders. I did have the occasion to speak to Mr. Quantavious Octavius Young, Coachman. He wants to continuing having contact, as does my client. And he informed me that he would be on the Zoom call, and I did see him earlier, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Young, I see you on the Zoom. This is your opportunity to address the court if you choose to. Good afternoon, sir. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what would you like to tell the court?
I would just like to say we never had any type of physical altercation as long as we've been together. That was the first time we've even been in a heated situation, and we didn't push each other. I actually tried to take my suitcase from him, and he pulled away, and I fell in the closet, and the suitcase scratched my chest, and literally that is it, Your Honor. And I tried to explain it to the police officer, but they did not want to hear it. I told them that the dispatcher what happened, that I wanted them to just come to escort me out so we wouldn't have no physical altercation. And I don't know how the miscommunication got from me to the dispatcher, but honestly, no, I love him. I love him dearly. I would never want to put him in any situation, and we've never had any physical altercation. You know, we help his mom. We actually have a life together, and I do want him to come back to this address.
This has not happened before?
No.
And you're not afraid of him?
No.
Okay, anything else you'd like to tell the court?
That will be all, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Young. Ms. Gant, your client has his hand up. Mr. Dickey, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You want to advise him, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Mr. Dickey, remain silent. I don't want you to say anything that will jeopardize your case.
Ms. Harrison, did you find out?
I'm having someone look into it, Your Honor, if I can just have a moment.
Okay.
Thank you. Your Honor, the history that I gave is his, but the open case doesn't appear to be his.
Okay.
So he does have the 9 cycles and the one conviction.
Okay, so aside from that aggravated assault that's not his, is there any other violence?
Look through it real quick. No, Judge. His last arrest was June of this year, and that was battery, family violence, first offense. No disposition listed.
Was that in Fulton?
Well,
yes, Judge, East Point.
Okay.
And this is the current case, correct? For that arrest is for this case, correct?
Well, this case or this arrest is before the 626 arrest. I'm not sure if they're the same. But okay. Today's arrest says Fulton County Sheriff's, and then the 624 says East Point.
All right, so it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge, if necessary. No further violent contact with young coachman, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Dickey.
Could you read the bond amounts, please?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Dickey, you received a signature bond. Please remain silent, sir.
Yes, a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. Oh, and also I'm adding a one-day anger awareness class to that. Okay?
Your Honor, was there a stairway?
No, there's no further violent contact.
Is it through pretrial or through the jail?
It's through pretrial per the judge.
Position 19, Simpson. Come on, Mr. Simpson.
Tell me again, who do we have?
This is position 19, Simpson.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Simpson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor. And Your Honor, I would like to, after I'm done, I would like to state what happened, the altercation.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Simpson. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have Ms. Kim representing you today, so why don't you let her speak for you, okay? You've been charged in case 22 CR 004111A with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
Your Honor, 7 cycles with history in Georgia and Maryland. Last arrest was December of 2016 for assault, 2nd degree, and violate ex parte protective order, 4 counts, in Frederick City, Maryland. That was a conviction. Record also indicates the defendant is currently on probation for criminal trespass and loitering in Fulton County. Case number 21 CR 005296Y, sentenced January of this year with 12 months probation. 1 failure to appear within the past 10 years. Nothing further to add.
Your Honor, just to clarify, this is for Mr. Rayfield Simpson.
That's correct, Ms. Tortorella. Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can proceed.
We're asking for a $1,000 surety bond. The conditions is that he stay away from the incident location, which is the Quick Trip at 630 10th Street in Atlanta. That he have no drugs or alcohol while out on bond, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 25th, 2022, an Officer Smith of the Atlanta Police Department responded to a criminal trespass at the Quick Trip gas station at 630 10th Street. Upon arrival, the defendant, Rayfield Simpson, was being detained by security. The security and the manager advised the officer that the defendant was issued a criminal trespass warning on June 22nd, 2022. Earlier that day, the officer had received a call from Quick Trip involving the defendant. The defendant was not at the incident location when he arrived earlier that day. However, he did locate the defendant and ordered him not to return before this incident occurred, Your Honor. The manager advised the defendant had returned to the location after the officer left and was being irate before he was detained by security. The defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. From what I've heard from pretrial, he's a multi-state offender. He has some violent offenses on his record, Your Honor. For that reason, we do have a concern that he will not only reoffend, but he may reoffend elsewhere outside this jurisdiction while he's out on bond, and that he may commit violent felonies while he's also out on bond, Your Honor. So for that reason, we're asking for that $1,000 good bond. Nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Simpson is 29 years old, and Mr. Simpson says that he was not even at QT. He said he was outside a bus stop, and security guard who has his photo in his room for some reason harassed Mr. Simpson, and they arrested him. So his story and the understanding is completely different from what actually was happening at what was described in the warrant. He says that Mr. Security guard for QT actually expressed his interest in him and personally detained him and harassed him. He has been here in Georgia for 5.5 years. He has 2 children, minors, and he has siblings. He has a job that is secure. He has been working for one same company for 4 years as a cleaning service. He has completed up to 12th grade. We would like to request for a signature on bond, and that's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, it's going to be a $500 good bond. Stay away from the Quick Trip at 630 10th Street, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Simpson.
Wait, what did he say?
You said it's a good bond, Judge?
$500, yes.
So I have to pay that?
Yes.
Yeah, but Your Honor, I was gonna say the security.
Mr. Smith.
The security harassed me and said he wanted to have sex with me on the phone. What's the security's name? Nobody knows the security's name? And said he wanted to harass me and sexually assault me on the phone?
Courtroom 2, would you please mute? Thank you. Mr. Simpson, the court's made its ruling. Who do we have next, Courtroom 2?
So I got paid $500.
Have a seat, have a seat. Position 24, Mr. Williams. Come on, Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004101Y with terroristic threats and simple assault. Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
Your Honor, 22 cycles. Last arrest, April of this year for DUI, drugs in Coweta County, Georgia. Record indicates an open case, 040000775. One violation of probation within the past 10 years. He has a history, Your Honor, but it's outside the 10-year period.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, just to add to the record, this defendant does have prior criminal trespass convictions, even though they are remote. In this case, Your Honor, it took place on 6/25 at the Pick and Play located at 2621 Donnelly Hollowell Parkway. The victim in this case is a Mr. Rajani Jha, that's RAJNI, Jha, JHA. In this incident, Your Honor, as it relates to the terroristic threats, there was a verbal altercation between the defendant in this case and Mr. Jha about coming into the store. Apparently, there has been an ongoing issue with this defendant coming into the store and damaging property in the facility when told he had to pay for ice that is provided within the store for sale. On this particular occasion, once officers apprehended the defendant, he stated in front of witnesses that he would shoot the victim in this case once he got out of jail. As far as a simple assault, Your Honor, when officers arrived at this location, they noticed that this defendant was making strange grunting noises and moving around more than normal. So they asked him, was he under the influence of any narcotics? And he said no at the time. As I previously stated, this defendant has had several issues with this location, Pick and Play. And on this particular occasion and several others, this defendant has been seen on camera as attested to by the officers in the police report, blading his body, balling up his fist, grabbing items from the store shelves and picking them up in an aggressive manner as if he's going to throw them at the victim in this case, so much so that the victim, Mr. Jha, has had to protect himself in a protective stance with a baseball bat with encountering this defendant. And in this particular instance, he also approached him and acted as if he was going to fight him. We are concerned about the risk of reoffense in this case, Your Honor, given that the police report indicates that this is not his first incident with individuals at this location. We're concerned about the victims in this case and their safety. We're going to ask for a $4,000 total surety bond. That's $2,000 per charge. No further contact with the victim in this case, Mr. Rajani Jha. Let's stay away from that Pick and Play on Donnelly Hollowell. One-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Williams is 61 years old. I'm actually 71 years old, and he has been here in Georgia all his life. He's retired, and he also worked at part-time at Home Depot. He has his wife and family here in Georgia. He has a master's degree from college for mechanical engineering. He has worked as a mechanical engineer for last 32 years. And this incident happened because he believed that he could get some free ice the weather was extremely hot and he just wanted to pick up some ice from the, I guess, fountain machine. And there was misunderstanding between the store clerk and my client. And we would like to request for a signature on bond. And if your honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we would like to request for a maximum $500 surety bond because he is retired. His finance is very limited. Thank you, your honor.
All right, it's going to be a $500 surety bond per charge, which makes it for a total of $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the pick and play on Donnelly Parkway. No further contact with Mr. Jaw, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Williams.
I'm sorry, Judge, can you please repeat that?
$500 good bond on each charge, $1,000 good bond total.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're gonna have to get $1,000 good bond.
Thank you.
I'll explain it to you, Mr. Williams. Position 2, Mr. Cousins.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cousins. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Cousins, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004092A with simple battery family violence. Is there a history?
Your Honor, 10 cycles, last arrest of November of 1998, given false name and address to law enforcement officers in East Point, Georgia. No disposition listed on that arrest. He does have a history outside the 10-year period. He has a 1987 aggravated assault, 2 counts, and a 1986 simple battery and trespass. Nothing further to add.
Is he recommended?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Segura?
This occurred on June 25th, 2022, which also responded to a fight in progress at a 2280 Campbellton Road, Southwest Atlanta, in which case the police talked to the victim, Miss Sadie Craig, Sadie spelled S-A-D-I-E, Craig spelled C-R-A-I-G, and when she stated that the defendant intimidated assaulted her son, Miss Andros Floyd, Andros spelled A-N-D-R-O-S-S, Floyd, common spelling, has mental disabilities. It was in the middle of the night in which Mr. Floyd was having a mental episode in which that woke up the defendant who became upset, went to Mr. Floyd, started yelling at him. And when the defendant went up to Mr. Floyd, he walked to him in an aggressive manner as if he was about to fight him. At that point, Ms. Craig tried to intervene, but the defendant grabbed her and threw her against the wall, which was so hard that it caused a photo to fall. And at this point in time, a witness, Mr. Eric Webb, common spelling, saw this as well. Because of this, we're asking for a $4,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, stay away from the 2280 Campbellton Road, Southwest Atlanta address, and no further contact with Sadie Craig and Andros Floyd. Making the recommendation based on these facts, as well as his special concerns, mostly because there seems to be some hostility between the defendant and Mr. Floyd, who, as noted before, has mental disabilities and has mental episodes at night. Alongside, we're also concerned about Ms. Craig's safety, as the two have been living together for 2 years, and Ms. Craig is more than 70 years old, so we have special concerns due to her age. And alongside in the defendant's history, even though this happened more than 20 years ago, we do see a panel that has guilty of violent acts before, and even up to 2022, we still committing another violent act. So because of these facts, we are asking for a surety bond. Thank you.
Mr. Segura, has anyone from your office spoken with Ms. Craig?
We made an attempt, but we were not able to get through with anyone.
Thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jarrell Cousins is 62 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He has family here, including a 30-year-old child. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at the incident location. However, Your Honor, I did reach out to Ms. Craig. She informs me that she does not want to have contact with Mr. Cousins. Therefore, we are requesting a one-time law enforcement escort so that he may retrieve whatever belongings he has there. Mr. Cousins completed 8th grade. He is currently employed at G&T Cleaners. He has been in that position for the past 5 years. Your Honor, Mr. Cousins denies the allegations, and despite my client's history, which is remote, he is presumed innocent. Again, he denies the allegations. I'm requesting a signature bond as he has recommended. And again, we are unopposed to the stay away and the no contact orders. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Craig or Mr. Floyd. Stay away from the Campbellton Road address. He can go back to that address on one occasion, escorted by law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Good luck to you, Mr. Cousins.
What he saying?
You got a signature
Thank
bond.
you, Your Honor.
I have to go home?
Yes, have a
Oh,
seat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I do
Position
position
4.
number 22 next, Francois, please?
Go ahead, Sarge.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Judge.
Afternoon, Sergeant. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. What number are we on?
Position number 22, please.
Okay. LaShawn Sneed, is that right? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ms. Sneed. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Your Honor,
Did you
I
hear-
believe the defense is requesting a breakout room for this case.
Okay. Did you hear what I said, Ms. Sneed?
You said something to stop the virus.
We are, we're holding this,
Video.
we're holding this by video. Is it all right to do this over video, Ms. Sneed?
He asking if you okay to do your hearing by video?
I guess, I don't know.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Watson Cafe. Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so we'll go into a breakout room.
Yes.
Okay. So Ms. Duncan, who else would you like to have in the breakout room?
ASG Rhodes, myself.
I love you, LaShawn. LaShawn, if you hear me, look.
Going through, we're back. We've had a discussion about Ms. Sneed. The bond is going to be $1,000 good bond. I'm requesting a social worker visit for Ms. Sneed. No further contact with Mr. Barnes. Abide by any active MARTA stayaways. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. But she's continue with any mental health treatment that she's currently receiving.
Can you please repeat that, sir? I couldn't hear you. I had to put my headphones in. My background is kind of loud.
Okay, who's requesting that I repeat that?
It appears to be the alleged
am I not supposed to
victim
be
on the
talking?
phone. I didn't know he was on, Your Honor.
Me either, Your Honor. It's the victim in this case. He's speaking, but he's not on video.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon, Mr. Barnes.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Yeah, the order of the court is it's $1,000 good bond. I'm requesting a social worker visit to Ms. Sneed. No further contact with yourself at the present time, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay, you have any questions, sir?
Now, can I say one?
You seem to have a bad connection, Mr. Barnes. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I heard you when you finished saying no drugs and stuff when she out on bond, and I asked after that, may I say something real quick?
You would like to say something? Is that what? All right, so the problem, Mr.
Yes,
Barnes.
that's what I said.
The problem is that you're addressing the court. You don't seem to be in a stable place. I'll need for you to be in a stable place if you would like to address the court, because I can't hear you or understand you. So I need for you to stop walking, number one.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, go ahead, sir. Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what would you like to tell the court?
I would like to just speak on LaShawn's behalf. She's not a bad girl, and sometimes things happen, and I know sometimes they go too far, and I know things have to be done because things have went too far. But honestly, LaShawn has never scared me. She's never did nothing like this before, and I'm not scared of her. I honestly do miss her, and I feel like if any punishment too harsh were put on her, I don't know if she'll be able to handle that. She's a really good girl. She don't get in trouble like that. It's mistakes made and things had to happen for that mistake. But I'm honest with you, her with every drop in me, just like I know she loved me, sir.
Okay, so you're
And I
telling
did
me
with I had told. What did you say, sir?
you're telling me that you're not afraid of her?
No, sir, not at all.
Okay, all right. So I just want to make sure and that this hasn't happened before.
No, sir, not at all.
Okay, all right. So anything further, Mr. Barnes?
No, I just
No,
Okay, so
I had told when they was. I can hear somebody else.
Go ahead, Mr. Barnes.
I had told the officers. The officers asked me did I want to press charges on them, and I told them several times that I did not. And I don't know why they continued to take her off. And like I say, I'm not scared of her, and I actually miss her a lot.
Okay.
She's not a bad person at all.
All right, thank you, Mr. Barnes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the orders as to be a no further violent contact with Mr. Barnes, but the rest of the order will stay in place as for now until we get a report on the social worker visit. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Barnes, and you also, Ms. Sneed.
That's all I have today, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon, Ms. Watson Cafe. Good to see you as always.
Thank you. You too, Your Honor.
We're going back to courtroom 2.
Yes.
Who do we have?
Position 10, McCormick.
Good afternoon, Mr. McCormick. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. McCormick, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004090A with theft of lost or mislaid property and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Is there a history, Saracen?
Your Honor, no prior history. He does meet the criteria for your jury for pretrial.
Okay, Ms. Tortorello?
Yes, Your Honor. For the theft, we're asking for a $1,500 surety bond. And for the marijuana charge, we're asking for a $1,000 signature bond. That would be a total of $4,000 split bond. Your Honor, we understand that he doesn't have any cycles. However, we are concerned about him reoffending while he's out on bond. On June 26, 2022, the Alpharetta Police Department responded to 4000 Avalon Boulevard in Alpharetta in reference to a report of entering auto thefts. The victim of the entering auto, Mr. Patrick Cadet, and the last name is spelled C-A-D as in dog, I-T as in Tom, reported his black backpack containing his passport, wallet, AirPods, and his purse were taken from his vehicle. Mr. Cadett was able to track his AirPods at the Firebirds Wood Fire Grill, the incident location, Your Honor, at 2665 Old Milton Parkway in Alpharetta. The officer went to the establishment and made contact with the host, who informed him that the defendant, Mark McCormack, had come in with a backpack and left it in the cubby at the front of the restaurant when returning from his lunch break. The defendant advised the officer that he located the backpack at the parking lot of the establishment. The defendant further stated that he took possession of the backpack and went through its contents, locating a passport and other valuable items inside, and placed them behind a dumpster at an adjacent business before returning to the establishment. A search of the backpack produced a gray and blue bag that belonged to the defendant with less than an ounce of marijuana inside. The defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, we are asking for that $1,500 surety bond. However, if Your Honor decides to give this defendant a signature bond due to lack of history, we're asking for a $3,000 signature bond for the theft and a $1,000 signature bond for the marijuana. Total of $4,000, nothing further. Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
I forgot to state the conditions: stay away from the incident location, a theft class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Nothing further.
Okay, Mr. Bartel.
Yes, Your Honor. I have spoken with Mr. McCormick. As the state has indicated, and he's told me that this is his first arrest. He has no history. He informs me he's lived in the Atlanta area for approximately 12 years, and his mother and brother live in the Atlanta area as well. So he has ties to the community. He is not a flight risk. There is no reason to believe he's at risk to commit any offenses. And, it's not my intention to get into the facts of the case, but this is a good example. I always tell people, if you find someone's property sitting around, sometimes, rather than trying to take it and get it back to the owner, if you can't do that immediately, sometimes it's best just to leave it there. He indicates that he intended to give it back, but he was at work and was not able to do it immediately. But, I know those are arguments to be made at trial. He is employed full-time at Firebirds. That's where the pack was found. We would oppose a stay away order from that place because that's where he is employed now, full time. He indicates he is looking for a second job on the side. But based on all that, we would ask the court for a signature bond or unsecured judicial release in whatever amount the court believes is appropriate.
Okay, so for the theft, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the marijuana, $500 signature bond through pretrial, which makes it a total of a $1,500 signature bond through pretrial. No further contact with the alleged victim, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, Mr. McCormack.
Good luck, sir.
Mr. Drake, position 4.
Good afternoon, Mr. Drake. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Drake, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004096C with unlawful conduct during a 911 call or contacting 911 for the purpose to annoy, harass a 911 officer intel. Is there a history? That's not for you, Mr. Drake. That's for Ms. Harrison.
No prior history, and he does meet the criteria for UJR pretrial. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mrs. Segura?
This occurred on June 26, 2022, when the defendant called 911 numerous times without justification. In fact, he called 7 times over a span of 3 days, requesting police and fire department requests. At that point, he also claimed to have severe medical conditions, but he refused to be transported to a hospital every single time because the hospital apparently was not the one he wanted to go to. At the latest, on his incident date, He was checked by medical personnel, but they were unable to find any serious medical condition with him. And then the defendant said he was sorry for calling when there was no emergency. Based on this, as well as his essentially no arrest record, we're asking for a $4,000 signature bond and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Thank you.
All right, so it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Don't call 911 unless you have an emergency. Is that fine with you, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Drake.
11, Mr. Melton, you're done.
Good afternoon, Mr. Melton. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Yes, okay, thank you, Mr. Melton. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004091J with theft of service. Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
4 cycles, last arrest, June of this year for possession of methamphetamine, deliver or distribute or possess with intent to distribute controlled substance in Schedule 1 or 2, and trafficking cocaine. That was in Cherokee County, Georgia. It appears to be an open case, 25826. Record indicates a 2007 felony conviction for drug possession and a 2008 disorderly conduct. Nothing further.
Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking for the current $1,000 surety bond to be raised to a $2,000 surety. The conditions is that he stay away from the incident location at 515 North Main Street, Alpharetta. That's Alpha Rental. For him to take a theft class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on December 21st, 2021, the Alpharetta Police Department responded to Alpha Rental at 515 North Main Street in Alpharetta. The officers learned that the defendant, Shannon Melton, committed theft of services when by deception with the intent to avoid payment to the victim, Alpha Rental, when he knowingly obtained the use of the company's it's a tandem axle trailer and bobcat excavator by not paying for renting the property. The defendant also dropped off the property 4 days late and was seen hurriedly leaving the location. The value of the service that is not paid is $1,163.49. The defendant was arrested, and these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, as you've heard from pretrial, he has a history. Not only that, Your Honor, he's committed felonies. He has I believe an arrest, a felony arrest for possession of meth and a trafficking cocaine in 2021 out of Cherokee County, I believe, if I'm correct, and a 2007 felony conviction, Your Honor. He does pose a risk of reoffending, so we are asking for that $1,000 surety to be raised to a $2,000 surety bond with the condition stated, nothing further.
Thank you. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Alpha Rental on North Main Street. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Mr. Vortels?
Yes, Your Honor, we appreciate that.
Okay, very good. Good luck to you, Mr. Melton. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 12, Mr. Vitali Morez, or Morai, or Moray.
Yes, I believe it's Moray.
Yeah, you're good. They're gonna try to pick you up by tomorrow morning.
Good afternoon, Mr. Moray. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon. Yes.
Okay,
Your Honor,
thank you.
I would
Yes.
say we did ask about a Russian interpreter from Mr. Moray, but based on my conversation with him, he appeared to understand what I was saying and was able to communicate with me. So are you comfortable going ahead without an interpreter, sir?
You're on mute, Courtroom 2.
Yes, are you comfortable speaking English today?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bartels. Mr. Moray, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004098E with driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, improper erratic lane change, improper turn, and driving on the wrong side of the road. Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
Your Honor, second arrest. First arrest was February of this year for DUI under the influence of alcohol in Alpharetta, Georgia. No disposition listed on that arrest. It appears to be open. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. For the I'm sorry.
I was not arrested, so it's up to you.
Sir, I would advise you not to say anything right now. Okay? Thank you.
Your Honor, for the DUI, we're asking for a $3,500 cash bond. For the improper lane change, a $500 cash bond. For the improper turn, a $500 cash, and for the wrong way charge, a $1,000 cash bond. That's a total of $5,500, and that will be a cash bond. The conditions: no driving, 12 AA classes, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, we are concerned that he's gonna reoffend again while out on bond. And not only that, Your Honor, we're also concerned that he will pose a risk to the safety of the public and the citizens of Fulton County, as this is his second DUI arrest this year. And it's opened, he has a DUI case open in Alpharetta, Your Honor. Your Honor, on June 26, 2022, and before I start, the arrest occurred on February 1st, 2022. So just several months later, this DUI arrest happened. Officer Christensen of the Roswell Police Department was on patrol at Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell, heading east, when he observed a blue Honda operating at a higher rate of speed compared to other vehicles nearby. The officer placed himself behind the vehicle and observed the driver fail to obtain his lane by crossing over the white dotted line with its left tires, and then he weaved repeatedly within the single lane. The vehicle came to a stop at the red light of Holcomb Bridge Road and Old Alabama Road in Roswell. The vehicle occupied the leftmost lane designated for vehicles to continue straight through the intersection. To the left of the vehicle was a turn lane so the defendant could take a left turn. The vehicle activated its left turn signal and proceeded to turn left on the lane designated for vehicles to continue straight when the light cycled green. The officer activated his emergency equipment and the vehicle continued to turn left and proceeded to travel on the wrong side of Old Alabama Road. It was going southbound in a northbound lane. Officer came in contact with the driver, identified as defendant Vitaly Moray. The defendant advised he spoke English, but advised he did not know much. The officer observed the defendant had red eyes, slurred and slow speech, and an odor of alcohol emitting from his person. The officer then asked the defendant to exit his vehicle and move to the front of his patrol car and indicated to the defendant where to go by pointing. The officer observed the defendant stumble and could not follow his directions. Officer also observed the defendant swaying back and forth when he stood still and constantly repositioning his feet to maintain balance. The defendant admitted to the officer that he did consume 3 light beers prior to his contact with the officer. The defendant declined field sobriety evaluations and a breath test. Officer Yavtushenko arrived and spoke with the defendant in Russian. Officer Yavtushenko said that the defendant did not provide direct answers to his questions and went off on tangents. The defendant was placed under arrest and was read implied consent, where the defendant refused a state-administered test of his breath. And all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, I understand he only has 2 cycles. However, as far as his driver's history is concerned, he was convicted of speeding on August 9th, 2020. There was no jurisdiction provided there. And his license was also suspended for an FTA to trial in Duluth Municipal Court on October 7th, 2021, which was last year, Your Honor. We're concerned for the public safety, Your Honor. This is his second time behind the wheel under the influence. And not only that, Your Honor, he was going the wrong way. And thankfully, there was no other motorists coming his way, Your Honor. Otherwise, that could have been a lot worse. So for that reason, we are asking for a total of $5,500 cash bond with the stated conditions. Nothing further.
Thank you, Mr. Bartels.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I have spoken with Mr. Moret. He does dispute a number of the allegations that are in the paperwork, but I've advised him that there is a venue to resolve those in a trial courtroom, and that this is just for probable cause purposes today. He is employed. He actually works 3 jobs. He works as computer network engineer. He works for PDQ. That's a contract. He's a consultant for Field Engineering LLC, and also works for Domino's. I'm advised that he has 2 kids. They're 11 and 16 years old who live with him. He lives with his wife and his kids. I'm also advised that his father and his uncle live in the metro Atlanta area. So he has ties to the community. We would ask the court to consider a $1,500 bond on the DUI and a $500 bond on the other 3 charges. So that would be a $4,000 total bond.
Okay, so for the DUI, it's going to be a $3,000 good bond. For each of the other charges, it's going to be a $500 good bond. That makes for a total of a $4,500 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, and no driving except for to and from work.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Moran.
Your Honor,
Yes,
I apologize. Did you mean no driving to and from work if his driver's license is not suspended?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, he of course can't drive if he doesn't have a valid driver's license. That includes to and from work, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Position number 13, Your Honor. Position number 13.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, with Mr. Peterson, if I could have a breakout room with the court and the state, and I guess pretrial, I have some information that Mr. Peterson has given me.
Okay, and so that's, all right, so if we can go into a breakout room with Mr. Bartels, Ms. Tortorella, Ms. Harrison, and let's see. Anyone else?
I think it's Deputy Assistant Solicitor Rhodes.
Is he still on? Oh, I'm sorry, I just didn't see him.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Okay, let's see. We've had a discussion on Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson is going to be a $2,000 good bond. Stay away from the Georgia Tech campus. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. You're going to be reset for Thursday's MH court. And if not accepted, you'll be back on the state all-purpose calendar on July 12th.
And Mr. Peterson, somebody will be at the jail to talk with you soon, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Position number 18, Mr. Sarhan.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sarn. I'm Judge Eric Moore. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Sarham, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004110C with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
Prior history does, and he does meet the criteria for UJL pretrial.
Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. On February 3rd, 2022, defendant Hisham Sarham committed the offense of simple battery family violence by shoving and striking his daughter, Mob Sarhan, and that's spelled M as in Mary, A, B as in boy, and the last name is S as in Sam, ARHAN as in Nancy, and the incident occurred at 5800 Windward Parkway in Alpharetta. The defendant was arrested and all these events occurred in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, we understand he has one cycle and therefore we're asking for $3,500 signature bond through pretrial. The condition is that he have no contact with the victim, his daughter. We've had no contact with her, so we don't know whether or not she wanted no violent contact. So for that reason, we're asking for no contact at this moment. That he stay away from the victim's address, which is, I have her, I can give it to you, Your Honor. 1 day anger management, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law, nothing further.
Do you know whether or not this is an adult daughter, Ms. Tortorella?
She's an adult.
Okay, and she does not live in the same Wynwood Parkway household?
That's actually an office location, Your Honor. I have the warrant stated their address, and I saw that the defendant and the victim had the same address. Hold on a minute.
Okay. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. They actually live together. Father and daughter live together. She is 19 years old, and the house is, of course, my client is the owner. He is willing to reside with her, and I don't think that she is going to be finding a place really quick. So we would like to request for no further violence contact, and everything else, we have no objection, Your Honor.
All right. This happened back in February of this year. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Morab Suhan, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you,
Thank you,
sir.
Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Next is position number 21, Mr. Randy Smith.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Moore. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. You all right there?
Yes,
Are
sir.
you with me? Okay, we're conducting this by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Smith, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004095G with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
Your Honor, 4 cycles. Last arrest, May of this year, criminal trespass in Fulton County. That was a conviction. Record indicates a 2021 criminal trespass and a 2022 disorderly conduct. Nothing further to, oh, I'm sorry, he does qualify. Nothing further, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Duncan? You're on mute, Ms. Duncan.
My apologies. There's a $5,000 preset surety bond in this case, Your Honor. This incident did occur on May 20th, 2022 at 250 Marietta Street Southwest. In this incident, Your Honor, an officer was on patrol traveling south on Marietta Street when they passed 250 Marietta Street, and they observed a black male sitting on a bench in front of by this location with a large rolling suitcase and a red bag. The officer recognized him as a defendant in this case. The defendant had previously been trespassed from that location, what it appears to be earlier that day, because he had had a violent altercation from another case, and that he informed this defendant that his trespass had not expired, and told him specifically that he was told that he could not be at any location that was a part of the Georgia World Congress Center Authority. And in this instance, Your Honor, the defendant was at the College Football Hall of Fame, which is a part of the Georgia World Congress Center Authority. And when the officers informed him of the violation of the trespass warning, he told officers to, quote, "fuck off." We have a concern about the risk of reoffense in this case, Your Honor. As per I stated, this defendant does have previous criminal trespass convictions that are very recent. Given the history in this case and the facts alleged, we are going to request a $1,500 surety bond to stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Thank you. Is he residentially challenged, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. We would like to request for wraparound services from pretrial services, and we will ask for social worker services visit for him. And yes.
Okay. So it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, social worker visit, possible wraparound services for Mr. Smith. And again, he's to stay away from the Georgia World Congress Authority. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we have position number 26, Mr. Young.
Good afternoon, Mr. Young. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Young, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004104Y with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
22 cycles with history in Georgia and North Carolina. Last arrest, April of 2022 for probation violation. Underlying charge is aggravated assault and battery. He is on probation for those charges. Sentenced June of 2016, 3 years confinement and 5 years probation. Case number 16, SC 141230. Record does indicate a 2022 indecency in Cobb and a 2016 felony conviction for possession of cocaine, 1 failure to appear, and 5 violations of probation within the past 10 years. Nothing further to add.
All right, Ms. Duncan.
Your Honor, I'd just like to add for the record that this defendant does additionally have more aggravated assault and aggravated battery convictions that are somewhat remote from 2009 and 2008. In this case, Your Honor, it took place on, the incident that led to the warrant took place on June 17th, 2022. The actual incident location is 100 Mills Street. In this case, officers were contacted by the victim, in this case, Ms. Sharanda Norman, that's CHRANDA Norman, common spelling NORMAN. In this case, Your Honor, she reported to officers that she was assaulted by her ex-boyfriend, Mr. James Young. She said that they were having an argument at the time, and he became combative and struck her with his hands. She lacerations to her neck, a bloody nose, and an injured shoulder from being struck by Mr. Young and falling to the ground. She told the officers that it occurred at 100 Mill Street near the Atlanta Mission Homeless Shelter. She said that there were witnesses, but nobody helped her. She stated that this defendant is homeless, and she told officers where he resided. She described him to officers with his distinct features, and officers were able to locate him. However, she stated at the time of incident, she did not have a phone and her phone was dead. So she went to a bystander or another location and was able to make contact with the police at that time. And that address where she made contact with the officers is 418 Lovejoy Street Northwest. Given the facts and circumstances surrounding this case, we do have a concern about the risk of reoffense, given this defendant's multiple convictions for aggravated assault and aggravated battery. We're concerned about that this defendant is a danger to the community and a danger to the specific victim, Your Honor, given the violent nature alleged. We also have concerns about his being a flight risk, as he does have a recent FTA. There is a $10,000 preset surety bond in this case, Your Honor. Given his history of violence and the facts alleged, including the FTAs and what's alleged to have happened to this victim, we're going to request that that bond remain as set. No further contact with the victim in this case. Stay away from that 100 Mill Street address. We're not sure where the victim in this case lives. She did state that she is currently also homeless. In the report, however, we were not able to make contact with her, and out of an abundance of caution for her safety, we want to make sure that this defendant does not go to that location, as that is not the place she stated where he resides. We're also going to request 4 weeks of anger management, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state. And I also, my apologies, I also saw an open ag assault and a felony obstruction of law enforcement officers. It is related to other closed cases, but it is still a specific and distinct case number that is set as open in Odyssey. Nothing further from the state.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Young is 41 years old, and he was born and raised here in Georgia, and he does not have many family members left. His mother passed away not that long ago, and he has a brother, but he has not been able to contact because he has been in and out of jail ever since 2010. He got out of jail about a month ago, and he's been working to get his ID and his life together. However, it has not been easy for him. He claims that he does not know Sharonda Norman more than a week. So they don't have a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship. They are just, acquaintance, knowing each other, one another from the street. And he denies the allegation. And we would like to request for signature on bond, considering the fact that he has other violence cases in the history. The maximum we would like to request for $1,000 surety bond, Your Honor. And we will definitely provide the social worker services. Thank you.
Okay, $5,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Norman, stay away from the Mill Street address, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Young.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we have position number 7, Mr. Willie Mathis. Position number 7.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mathis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004100C with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
This is position 6, correct?
Is this Willie Mathis, courtroom 2, or is it?
Willie Mathis Jr.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's position 6. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. We have another Mathis that's position 7. So this is position 6. This is case number 22 CR 004099E. Mr. Willie Mathis. Mr. Mathis, you've been charged with battery, family violence, and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history on Mr. Mathis? Ms.
Your Honor, four cycles, last arrest, June of 2012, for driving while license suspended or revoked in DeKalb County. No disposition listed on that arrest. His GCRC did not indicate any previous convictions. He has a 2006 arrest only for battery, simple violence. No disposition. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Segura?
This occurred on June the 2nd, 2022, in which officers responded to a domestic violence call at the Overlook Ridge Apartments, located at 2640 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Atlanta. In this incident, police officers spoke with the victim, Ms. Latonia Fox. Latonia, spelled Latonia, Fox, common spelling, who is the defendant's wife. Both Ms. Fox and the defendant having an argument over a water bill payment, at which point things escalated, and the defendant grabbed Ms. Fox by her neck and her hair and pulled her to the ground, whipping some parts of her hair out of her head. And then at some point afterwards, the defendant left in the parking lot, and they were both in a vehicle, in which when Ms. Fox attempted to leave her vehicle, the defendant shattered the passenger side front window with an unknown metal object and then left. This resulted in Ms. Fox having some small cuts on her shoulder, arm, and face. Because of this, the state is recommending a $6,000 surety bond, $5,000 for the family battery violence, and $1,000 for the criminal trespass. Alongside, we're asking for the conditions of one-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, a stay away from the Overlook Ridge Apartments, 2640 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Atlanta location, no further contact with Latonia Fox, and third-party transfer of their children. Allegations are based on these facts, and alongside, we also spoke with Ms. Fox earlier today, in which she stated that both she and the defendant were in a 22-year-old relation, but they are no longer in a relationship. Alongside, they do not longer live together, but they do have 2 children. Alongside said, she had not seen the defendant since this incident, but even so, we do have our concerns, as she did confirm that the defendant did damage her vehicle and which needed to be fixed. Alongside, she also did confirm that the defendant did pull her hair out. But in this case, she said it was weave, but still, we saw that there's the intention of the defendant grabbing her, putting her to the ground, and whipping stuff off from her head. And I thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Willie Mathis is 46 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He is the proud father of 7 children, 3 of which he shares with a complaining witness, Ms. Latonia Fox. The children that he shares are ages 10, 13, and 16. The children live in the home with Ms. Fox and Mr. Mathis. Your Honor, his remaining 4 children are between ages 21 and 24. Mr. Mathis completed 12th grade. He is certified in HVAC, and he also has a certification in CPO, which is related to pool servicing. At this time, however, Your Honor, Mr. Mathis is unemployed, and he has been so for the past 6 months. Therefore, he has very limited means to pay anything toward bond. He plans to open a business soon. Your Honor, Mr. Mathis denies the allegations. He is presumed innocent at this point, and we did not hear about any convictions. Therefore, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Mathis's behalf. We are opposed to the stay away and the no contact orders. I have been in contact with Ms. Fox, and she is on the line and informs me that she wants to continue having contact with Mr. Mathis, as does my client. If Your Honor determines that Mr. Mathis is ineligible for that signature bond, I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000 total. That would be $500 for each charge. And according to the report, Your Honor, that I received, he is recommended for a signature bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fox. I see you there. So if you'll unmute yourself, and then I'll have to swear you in if you'd like to address the court, ma'am. Can you raise your right hand?
Hey, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing just fine, Ms. Fox. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
First, I just want to tell them that I love Willie. We have been in a relationship for 22 years. And as everyone knows, no relationship is perfect. I do apologize for that day even happening because I could have avoided it because Willie did leave. He tried to leave. He did. And I should have let him left. But because I was so mad, I stopped him from leaving. And by stopping him, I put the front end of my car in the front of his car. So that's how the vehicles, he was not trespassing. You know, yes, he did break out my window and yes, he did fix it. But it could have been avoided and it could have been avoided and it could have started with me. I was just so tired. We have been going through so much during the pandemic. It was just so overwhelming that we was in the house with each other for weeks and weeks and we weren't even speaking. So I think we messed up during this whole pandemic thing. We lost communication, we lost trust, we lost respect, we lost everything. We went from not working to not working. We went from having money to not having money to even not even knowing where we gonna get the next meal from. That's how bad it had gotten. So I'm not making excuses, but what I'm saying is our life changed within the past year and a half, 2 years. It just changed, and we should have worked harder at trying to put it back together instead of just pointing fingers, And yes, he did pull out my hair. Yes, he did, but I defended myself. When he came at me, the first thing I did was defended myself. So even though he launched at me, I hit him first because I just was defending myself, so I do apologize for that as well. I would never hurt Willie, and Willie have never hurted me. Out of 22 years, we have not been in the court for anything, but it happened, and I'm sorry, Willie, and hopefully at this point we can just move on, you know, with the kids, and co-parenting with the kids, and just at this point, just try to do everything the right way.
Okay, you all live together, Ms. Fox?
Yeah, we did. Yes, sir. We was staying together at that time.
Okay, and this had never happened in the past?
No.
And
I mean, we have got into it when we was young in our 20s, before we even started having kids. But just fighting and, oh, no. No,
Okay.
no, sir.
And you're not afraid of him?
No.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's going to be for the battery, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the criminal trespass, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, which makes it a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1-day anger awareness class, no further violent contact with Ms. Fox, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Mathis, and you also, Ms. Fox.
I can continue to go around my family, Your Honor? Or don't go back to that residence?
Mr. Mathis, please do not speak. Remain silent, sir.
You've gotten a signature bond, Mr. Mathis, and you have no further violent contact with Ms. Fox. So I think that was the question that you were asking. All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
So, Your Honor, do I have to come bond him out with cash, or what do I do now?
He has a signature bond, so he's going to be able to sign himself out, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
You have a good afternoon.
You too.
Thank you. Who do we have next?
We have position number 8, Mr. Timothy Mclaughlin.
Good afternoon, Mr. McLaughlin. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. McLaughlin, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004103J with obstruction of a law enforcement officer and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
No prior history, Judge, and he does meet the criteria.
Is this a go?
This occurred on June 26, 2022, in which officers responded to a dispatch call at the Hamilton Hotel located at 35 Merton Avenue, Alpharetta. In this case, Employees told the defendant to leave the Hamilton Hotel, but the defendant refused to do so. At some point, when police arrived, an employee went outside of the hotel to contact officers who said the defendant was inside. When police came in, they found that the defendant was hiding behind a wall inside the building. At that point, the defendant ran away, which also started to follow him. At some point, the defendant tripped, and officers yelled verbal commands for him to stop, but the defendant got up and continued to run until he reached a dead end. At that point, the defendant was resisting, he was not turning around, and he was not placing his hands behind his back. When officers tried to restrain him, the defendant resisted and tried to push against the officer's movements. At a point, the defendant was successfully detained. Because of this, the state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond, $1,000 for each count, with the conditions of no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and a stay away from the Hamilton Hotel at that 35 Milton Avenue, Alpharetta location. Thank you.
Thank you. It's going to be $1,000 signature bond on each charge. This makes it a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, stay away from the Hamilton Hotel, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor. However, my client informs me that he believes his brother retrieved his belongings from there, but may we just still have a one-time law enforcement escort in case there are items remaining?
Of course, a one-time law enforcement escort to retrieve any belongings that he may have at the Hamilton Hotel.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, Mr. McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Who do we have next?
Your Honor, that's all we have in courtroom 2. We can go to courtroom 3.
Okay, thank you. Okay, who do we have? You're on mute, courtroom 3.
Judge, I have position 23, Ms. Taylor, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Taylor. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes,
Thank-
and may I speak to my
Hold-
attorney in the
Hold on, Ms. Taylor. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Who's representing Ms. Taylor this afternoon? Mr.
Should be Ms.
Bartels,
Kim.
Ms.
It
Kim.
should be Ms. Kim.
Ms. Kim, are you with us? Do we have anyone else in courtroom 3 that we can take?
I
Till Ms.
apologize.
Kim-
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
Okay,
Sorry
all
about
right,
that.
Ms. Kim, are you with us?
Yeah, my for some reason my pad was kind of frozen, but I'm
Okay, you're fine, Ms. Kim. I just want to make sure that you're with us.
Yes.
Ms. Taylor, she had a question. I advised her that she has a right to remain silent. Anything she says can be used against her. Do you need to speak with Ms. Kim prior to this matter going forward? Ms.
Yes,
Taylor?
yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We don't have anyone else in courtroom 2. Are we gonna be going to the South Annex today?
Yes, I'm trying to see if they log on. Is she ready to go to South Annex? Because Ms. Kim has the last 2 I have in courtroom 3, Judge.
Okay, so, all right, so there we have the South Annex. So if we can put Ms. Kim and courtroom 3 into a breakout room so that they can chat, and I'll go to the South Annex if the South Annex is ready, and then we'll come back to courtroom 3. Is that all right with you, Officer Milton?
Yes, Your Honor. And when you go back to courtroom 3, I have to get an interpreter for Miss Ramos.
Okay, we don't have any interpreters available today.
Okay.
And which case needs an interpreter?
Position 15, Miss Ramos. She understands
Okay.
English
Okay.
a little bit. Maybe she might be able to be okay.
With her counsel, Officer Milton, we've already reset them for tomorrow. He believes that she needs an interpreter, so we didn't have one available today. Okay, do you have anyone there that I can take now?
Yes, Miss Mathis.
Okay,
Have a seat, please.
what position is this?
Position 7, I believe.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Mathis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004100C with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Judge. Second arrest. First arrest was November of 2016 for aggressive driving in Alpharetta. That was a conviction. She does meet the criteria for UJR, Judge. Nothing further.
Mr. Segura?
This case occurred on June 25th, 2022, in which also responded to a domestic dispute at a 8601 Wildwoods Drive, Sandy Springs location, in which they spoke with the victim, Mr. Adam Sann, Adam Collins spelling Sann, S-A-N-N, in which he told officers that he was drinking the previous night, and when he came home, the defendant attacked him. And in this incident, the defendant tried to grab him, and which caused Mr. Sann to experience scratches on his back, in which there are photographs of. Because of this, the state is recommending a $5,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness, narco, drugs, and weapons, and stay away from the 8601 Wildwoods Drive, Sandy Springs location, and no further contact with the victim. We're concerned by the victim because the two live together and have been living together for 1 year now. And also, based on the facts of what's stated in the warrant, we're concerned that this incident just arose because Mr. Sann was simply drinking the night before. So we're concerned about the case that we are offending because we're not sure as to how what initially actually led to this act of violence. Thank you.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Kayla Mathis Sanny is 30 years old. She has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area since 2003. She is married to the complaining witness, Mr. Adam Sanny. Your Honor, they do not share any children. She informs me that they are going through a divorce, Your Honor. We are opposed to the stay away at the incident location, and we would ask that the court put in place a no violent contact order. I did have the occasion to speak to Mr. Sanny. He is on the Zoom call. Your Honor, Ms. Mathis Sanny has an associate's degree in journalism and mass communications. She is gainfully employed at Equifax and has been so for the last 1 year and 3 months. Your Honor, she denies the allegation. She states that she is in fact the person that called the police and that she was merely defending herself, Your Honor. She is recommended. I'm requesting a signature bond on her behalf. And again, we are opposed to the stay away and the no contact orders. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Sandy, I see you on the line. If you would like to address the court, this is your opportunity to do so. And if you would like to do so, I'll need for you to raise your right hand and I'll have to swear you in, okay?
Yeah.
Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. What would you like to tell the court, Mr. Sandy?
Mrs. Kayla Sanny is in the position where she is right now because she has history of aggressive behavior. She has history of most specifically aggressive behavior towards.
Your Honor, I object and would ask that Mr. Sanny limit his testimony to his wishes for contact.
Your Honor, I object to that because his testimony is reflective of the other factors of a danger to him and basically to intimidate a witness.
Okay. Mr. Sandy, go ahead. You don't have to give me the whole.
Okay.
Tell me about this incident. Tell me whether or not you want to have contact with her or not. Tell me if you're afraid of her or things of that nature, sir.
The incident specifically stems from, I went out and I was at a party and I came back in the morning and she was also aggressive on me. And this is really not the first time she's doing so. I can attribute a whole lot of those behavior towards she having mental deficiency. She has bipolar.
Objection, Your Honor. My client's medical history is confidential.
Okay. Mr. Sandy, let me ask you questions then, sir.
Okay.
All right. So do you live with Kayla Mathis Sanny at the Roberts Drive address?
Yeah, we share the same residence.
Okay, do you want to have no further contact with her at the present time?
I really don't want to jeopardize a lot of things right now, but contact is okay, but the aggressive part I wouldn't really like. So no aggressive contact would be okay.
Okay, are you afraid of her?
I'm not entirely afraid of her. I'm okay with her being around, but you know, there has to be like a limit to what she can do.
Does she have somewhere else to go besides the Roberts Drive address?
No.
Okay, anything else you want to
So
tell?
I'm really okay with her being around for now, but she has to have some social assistance if she could. And she also has to have some mental health evaluation or psychiatric evaluation mandated by the court. And also she has
Okay,
to have.
Mr. Sani, this is only a bond hearing, okay? So all those things that you're requesting are not not appropriate for this phase of this matter at the present time. So based on what you've said, Mr. Sani, I feel uncomfortable placing her back into the household with you. And since you're the complaining witness in this case.
No, it's okay, Your Honor.
Well, no, I've already made that determination based on what I've heard you say and regarding her. So I'm gonna allow her to have a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, one-day anger awareness class, no further contact at the present time with Mr. Sani, and to stay away from the Roberts Drive address. You can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that she might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
So real quick, Your Honor, so what's the limits on the no contact orders and how long is it gonna be for?
No contact means no contact. No contact means no email contact, no phone contact, no contact whatsoever until this is resolved.
So what's the duration?
Till this is resolved, I'm not sure what the duration is going to be regarding this matter.
What's the process moving forward from today?
She'll be placed on another calendar in the coming weeks to address the matter. And at that point in time, if her attorney would like to modify the bond or to readdress bond, we can do it at that time.
Okay.
And
Yes.
Your Honor, if I may clarify, did Your Honor say $3,000 signature bond?
Yes, through pretrial.
Thank you.
Your Honor, can I also clarify that the victim's name is Abdul Sani, or because on the warrant it calls him Adam Sani? So is it Abdul?
Okay.
No, my legal name is Adam Sani, so my profile is still showing my previous name. I need to update that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything further? All right, good luck to you both.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who do we have next? Are we gonna go back to courtroom 3?
Yes, Judge, please. Thank you.
Your Honor, yeah, Your Honor, I'm sorry, I was booted off for a minute. I had to log on. I spoke with Ms. Ramos, number 15, and she's advised that she is okay with proceeding without an interpreter. And I did speak with her, and I'm prepared to address that if the court is comfortable with that.
Okay, that's fine. As long as you're comfortable with it, Mr. Bartels, I'm comfortable with it. Let's go back to courtroom 3 to address the last two in courtroom 3. Then we'll go back to the South Annex to complete the calendar, okay?
Thanks, Judge.
All right.
Thank you.
So tell me again, courtroom 3, who we have?
Position 23, Judge, Ms. Taylor, please.
All right, thank you. And we're ready to proceed, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Taylor, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0041114J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms.
No
Harris?
prior history, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Duncan?
Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday at 240 Lake Louise Lane. Louise is spelled Louise. The victim in this case is a Jameer Taylor, Jahmmir Taylor, who is the defendant's brother. On yesterday, Your Honor, officers were dispatched to the location in reference to a physical altercation between the defendant and the victim in this case, Mr. Taylor. When they arrived on scene, they were met with Mr. Taylor, and he stated that there was an argument between him and his sister that became physical due to a post that was made on social media. Mr. Taylor stated to officers that the defendant became aggressive and physically hit him. He advised officers that at the time that she hit him, he attempted to restrain her. Officers noted that Mr. Taylor did have his right hand wrapped in a towel due to his fingers bleeding. They also observed other injuries on Mr. Taylor's right hand between his third and fourth fingers. And they observed scratches on the right side of his face and chest. Officers also observed scratches on Mr. Taylor's back. After the altercation with his sister, he left the incident location to allow her time to calm down. It's noted in the warrant that at that time, Miss Taylor, the defendant in this case, did in fact call the police. However, when officers made contact with her, they noted that she did say that there was an altercation between her and her brother. She did not admit to hitting him. She stated the exact opposite, in that her brother had hit her. However, officers did note that they did not see any injuries on Miss Taylor's face or body that would be consistent with being punched in the face. And due to the visible injuries on Mr. Taylor's body, Miss Taylor was determined to be the primary aggressor and was placed under arrest in this incident. In this case, Your Honor, we are concerned about the risk of reoffending because they do live together, and since this did happen yesterday, we're concerned about a cooling off period as well as intimidation of this witness due to the fact that they are in a familial relationship. Given the violent nature of the injuries alleged and the fact that we were not able to make successful contact with this victim, we're concerned for their particular safety. We're going to request a $3,500 surety bond, no further contact with the victim in this case, a stay away from the incident location, 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that she is recommended by pretrial services for unsecured judicial relief. We would like to request for signature on bond, and also since they live all together, mother, brother, and sister, they live together, we would like to request for no further violent contact. I believe her brother is on the phone to testify that he's not afraid of her. And she has been here in Georgia ever since she was 4 years old. She's 22 years old, and she was gone to another school for 1 year, but she came back and she graduated from high school in 2018, and she has a 4-month-old baby right now. She really got to go back and take care of her baby. And she's currently working at Racetrack. It seems like she is also starting her new school on July 11, 2022 for medical assistant certification. We would like to request for signature on bond and no further violent contact with the complaining witness. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is Mr. Taylor on the line?
Yes, sir, Your Honor, I am.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, what do you want to tell the court, Mr. Taylor?
Your Honor, can you give me a second to get in my car and get into a space where I can really hear you? I'm sorry.
Well, we're in the middle of court right now, and you need to get someplace very quickly if you'd like to address the court.
I'm here.
Okay, what would you like to tell the court?
No, I just couldn't clearly hear you, but I can now, so.
Okay, so what do you want to say?
I'm not like it's not that serious to me. I'm not scared. Like we're good.
All right, do you all live together?
Yes, sir, we do.
All right, you're not afraid of her?
No, sir.
And this hadn't happened before?
No, sir.
All right, anything else you want to tell me?
I just want to make it clear that it's nothing to me. Like I'm not scared. I'm not in danger. It's nothing. Like it's good. I promise y'all.
All right, thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Yes,
It's going
sir.
to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mr. Taylor, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good
Your
luck to
Honor,
you,
could
Ms.
you
Taylor.
restate those conditions?
1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, good luck to you, Ms. Taylor. Who do we have next?
I'm sorry, Judge. What was the bond amount again, please?
A $3,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I
you're
have
welcome.
position number 25 next, please.
Okay. This is Ms. Wood.
Yes, Judge.
Good afternoon, Ms. Wood. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Wood, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004113G with simple battery family violence. Is there a history?
No prior history, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on June 25th at the area around 12th Street and Crescent Avenue. In this instance, officers were dispatched to the location about a dispute. When they arrived at the location, Ms. Wood, the defendant in this case, did advise officers that she was at a club with the victim in this case, Mr. Ivan Ramirez, Ivan, I-V-A-N, Ramirez, R-A-M-I-R-E-Z, who is the defendant's live-in boyfriend. She advised that they were out at a location and that they had gotten into a dispute after drinking. She wanted to leave the club. However, he did not want her to leave. And when he approached her to stop her from leaving, she open hand struck him in the face. And so at that time, he grabbed her arms to keep her from slapping him. And then according to the Warrenton police reports, apparently some other people joined in and attacked Mr. Ramirez. And he resulted with several injuries because of that attack. However, the defendant in this case did admit to officers that she open hand slapped this defendant. I wanted to know for the record that her address in the police report listed her as a resident of South Carolina, and his address is listed as Georgia. The state does have a risk of reoffending because it was indicated to police that they live together. And since it hasn't been this long since this happened, we're concerned, given that they are in an intimate relationship, the intimate nature of the relationship could provide some intimidation. We also have a concern that this defendant's ties to the community may be insufficient, given the violent nature of the offenses alleged. In this case, is currently being held without bond. So the state is going to request a $3,000 surety, no further contact with the victim because our victim advocate was not able to make contact with the victim in this case. So out of an abundance of caution, we're going to ask for that, and a stay away from the incident location. No 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
The incident location, you've got 12th Street and Crescent Avenue. Is that an intersection, or are you requesting to stay away from a specific spot, or what?
I think they were outside a club, Your Honor. 1 second, and if I can get the name for you.
Okay, I'll go to Mrs. Kim and come back to you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Woods is 23 years old, and she moved 1 year ago because she became a victim of domestic violence with her daughter's father, and her mom and sister live here in Georgia permanently. So they were mainly a support system for her to get back. And from my understanding, when I was interviewing with her, she was not the one who was a first aggressor. She just wanted to leave the location, and other people, strangers, misunderstood that she was getting attacked by her boyfriend. So they hit her boyfriend, and her boyfriend was bleeding. And when the police officer arrived later, it kind of appeared to be those strangers left the scene, and she was left with her boyfriend who was bleeding, and they thought it was because she hurt him, but that was not the case. She has a 4-year-old daughter right now, and she's willing to stay away from him. She does not want to have drama like this anymore because she has gone through already too much, to the point that she had to move out of her South Carolina home to be with her mother and sister here. So she has actually stronger ties here in Georgia, Your Honor. And she has employment at pizza restaurant. She has a 12th grade of education. We would like to request for signature on bond as pretrial services also recommended, and go home today to take care of the baby. Thank you.
Your
Ms.
Honor,
Duncan, yes.
the place that it happened in front of is Princi Italia, Princi Italia, Italia is the place where it seems to have happened in front of, according to Google. And while the state sympathizes with the defense's arguments, this defendant did state that she open hand slapped this victim in this case, Your Honor. Nothing further from the state.
Okay, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day annual awareness, no further contact with Ivan Ramirez, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Ms. Wood. Okay, who do we have next?
Position 15, Miss Ramos.
Oh, this was her family?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Ramos. I'm Judge Eric Mora. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar. We're holding it by video. Do you agree to have your case held by video?
Yes.
You've been charged in case 22 CR 004109H with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history?
Your Honor, 3 cycles. Last arrest, January of 2020 for driving without a valid license in Fulton County. No disposition listed on that arrest. Record indicates a 2014 driving without a valid license conviction. She does meet the criteria for UJR pretrial, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. For the battery, family violence, a $4,500 surety bond. For the cruelty to children in 3rd degree, a $500 surety. That's a total of $5,000. The conditions that she have no contact with the victims, the 2 juveniles, one's her stepson, one's her son. EN for the first victim, and the second victim is EG. For her to stay away from 851-G Roswell Creek Lane in Roswell. She needs to stay away unless the victims have left, to follow with any defects plan that has been set in place, 1-day anger management, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 25th, 2022, Officer Davidson of the Roswell Police Department responded to 881 Roswell Creek Lane in Roswell in reference to child abuse. Dispatch advised 2 juveniles were walking around the area and asking neighbors for assistance. Upon arrival, the officer met with the 2 juveniles, EN and EG, at the parking lot. EN advised that his mother, defendant Delmi Ramos Reyes, hit him with a belt several times, causing an injury to his left shoulder and back, while others were present in the living room. EN said the belt was black with a silver buckle. The officer observed several raised red marks along EN's upper back, consistent with the belt. The officer took photos of EN's injuries. EN and EG advised the officer that their father and stepfather, also has hit them with the belt in the past and are afraid to return to the incident location. EG was present and saw and heard the battery family violence when it occurred. The defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, she has 3 cycles. The past 2 were traffic offenses. However, given the nature of the allegations here, the facts of the case involves 2 children, one which was actually violence was inflicted upon, Your Honor. We are asking for that $5,000 surety bond with the conditions. Nothing further.
Where are the minors now?
We have not had any contact, Your Honor. We're not sure if they're with the grandmother or they're with the father. We
Your
have
Honor, I was advised that they both live with their grandmother.
Okay, so so the 851 Roswell address, whose address is that?
Now, Ms. Ramos, do you live there at 851 Roswell Creek Lane?
Yes.
Okay, and the 2 young men, they live at another address with their grandmother?
Yeah, the officer left, my mom take her there.
Okay, but they are staying with their grandmother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Bartels.
Is the state done?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, were you done, Mr. Okay.
Yes.
I thought she was. I'm so sorry if you weren't. Go ahead, Mr. Bartels.
Thank you, Judge. Yes, I was speaking with Ms. Ramos, and again, for the record, Ms. Ramos, do you understand what we're talking about, and do you wish to proceed without an interpreter?
Yeah, I understand everything.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, the judge has agreed to hear your case. Your Honor, we would ask for an unsecured judicial release. It appears that Ms. Ramos is recommended. Her history is minimal, just a couple of traffic charges. She does indicate that the alleged victim was becoming aggressive towards her, and this is a self-defense situation, but I know that the details of that can be gotten into later. She says that in addition to her husband, her mother and her siblings also live in the metro Atlanta area. She indicates that she works also on a part-time basis with her husband, painting houses. So she does have ties to the community, and from what we're told, it appears that the 2 young men live in a separate location from her. So based on all that, we would ask for a signature bond or an unsecured judicial release.
Okay, so it's going to be for the battery, a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the cruelty, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. Makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1-day anger awareness class. No further contact at this point in time with the 2 minors. Abide by any defects plan that's put in place, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Ramos.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Milton.
Oh, you're welcome.
What about position number 14, Smalisha Pickens?
Yeah, that would be my case as well.
Do we have a?
Let me see if I don't think she's here.
I remember what happened with that one, Your Honor. She has waived her appearance. I've advised that, let's just say there's a medical reason why she can't be brought out of the cell. That's what I was told. I believe Mr. Norris told me that, but I did talk with her over the phone. She did tell me that she wanted to waive her appearance if we can hear her case.
Do you have a written waiver of appearance, Mr. Bartels?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay, I think that's going to require a written waiver for her appearance for us to proceed without her. Isn't that the case?
I haven't dealt with this situation in a while, Judge.
Okay, I think we're going to need a written waiver. So,
excuse me, Judge. I'm sorry.
Yes. Go ahead.
She tested positive for COVID, so we just took the cell phone around her so she can get interviewed. They didn't want us pulling her out the cell. because she's actually still back there, new intake.
Okay, so what are you advising? That
I mean, we told Mr. Bartell that when we called this morning to get her interviewed.
okay, can we get a written waiver by tomorrow, Mr. Bartels?
Well, I'm not sure how that works, Judge, but
I can prepare for him, Your Honor.
Okay.
While he's talking, yes.
okay, well, can that be emailed or faxed over?
I can email to Your Honor and
Well, they've got to get her to sign it. I think that's what Mr. Bartels is saying.
oh, we don't get a signature from the client, Your Honor, for waiver of appearance.
Huh? Right. Oh, okay. So, okay, Ms. Kim, if you can prepare that
Sure.
And send it to Ms. Grace, then
Yes.
she will have it.
Yes.
And when can you do that?
Now, I'll do it now, Your
Okay,
Honor.
all right.
Okay, thank
So
you.
as long as we have that, then we can proceed.
Okay, good. As long as something is in writing. Okay.
Right, okay, all right.
Okay, I've never dealt with that before. I'm sorry. Thanks.
Okay, that's fine. So, okay, Ms. Kim, if you'll go ahead and do that, and let's go to position number 14. I have down Ms. Harrison that she is recommended, is that right?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor, give me 1 minute. Oh, how do you spell our last name? Pilkins?
Pickens, position number 14.
Got it. Your Honor, we're recommending for the criminal trespass a $1,000 surety, for the obstruction, $1,000 surety, so that'll be a total of $2,000 good bond. The conditions is that she stay away from the Publix at 3695 Cascade Road in Atlanta. No drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Did Pretal go over her criminal history? Or
She's recommended, so I take it that there's not much of one.
I see 8 cycles unless I'm mistaken.
Just the one conviction in 2010. Theft
What
by
was it?
shoplifting.
Okay, thank you.
It doesn't appear to have an open case pending.
No, no open case, no open probation.
Okay, not on probation or parole. Okay,
Correct.
Okay.
all right, thanks.
So, Your Honor, on June 25th, 2022, the South Fulton Police Department was dispatched to the Publix at 3695 Cascade Road in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with the defendant, Militia Pickens, over the intercom by ordering her to leave the premises due to selling lemonade without a city permit. This was the officer's second encounter with this defendant. The officer had the first encounter 3 months ago where the defendant was provided with information about how to get a permit and where to obtain a city permit so she could conduct her business on private or public property. The defendant was selling lemonade with her daughters at the Publix. The officer asked the defendant for her identification so that he could issue a criminal trespass warning, and she refused. The defendant was arrested, and these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, if it weren't for her criminal history, the state wouldn't oppose, but she has 8 cycles and conviction. So for that reason, Your Honor, we are asking for a $2,000 surety bond total, and the conditions already stated. Nothing further.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, $1,000 for each offense. Stay away from that Publix. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Mr. Bartels?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. With that, I believe that we've completed today's calendar, if I'm not mistaken, and Ms. Grace is here with me, so as soon as she's ready, we'll go over the calendar, if that's all right with everyone.
Okay.
Have a good evening, everybody. Bye.
Have a good afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, will do. Bye.
Position 1 was, I have down as 1,000 for the DUI, 500 for the open alcohol container, 250 for the driving offense. So a total of a $1,750 good bond. Okay. You're welcome.
Position number 1 is a $1,750 good bond. Position number 2 is a $3,000 pretrial bond. Position number 3 is a $3,000 pretrial bond. Position number 4 is a $2,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Position number 5 is a $5,000 pretrial bond. Position number 6 is a $3,000 pretrial bond. Position number 7 is a $3,000 pretrial bond. Position number 8 is a $2,000 pretrial bond. Position number 9 is a $1,500 good bond. Position number 10 is a $1,500 pretrial bond. Position number 11 is a $2,000 sign-on bond through jail. Position number 12 is a $4,500 good bond. Position number 13 is a $2,000 good bond. Position number 14 is a $2,000 pretrial bond. Position number 15 is a $4,000 pretrial bond. Position number 16 is reset to tomorrow's SEA calendar. Position number 17 is a $1,000 good bond. Position number 18 is a $2,000 pretrial bond. Position number 19 is a $500 good bond. Position number 20 is a $1,000 good bond. Position number 21 is a $2,000 pretrial bond. Position number 22 is a $1,000 good bond. Position 23 is a $3,000 pretrial bond. Position number 24 is a $1,000 good bond. Position 25 is a $3,000 pretrial bond. And position number 26 is a $5,000 good bond.
Any questions or concerns?
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Thank you all very much. I will see you all next time.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Thank you,
Y'all have a
Judge.
safe evening.
Okay, thanks, everybody.